As a final presentation in IST 432, the Legal and Regulatory Environment of Information Sciences and Technology for the fall 2016 semester, I am Brad Fratangelo.
I'm Aiden Stromer.
I'm Aaron Wilson.
I'm Charlie Dougherty.
And I'm Amanda Macedo.
And we are Team 6. Our research project focuses on the Hazelwood School District versus Kohlmeyer from 1988. Here we will address our research question: can a school administration restrict topics discussed in a student-run school newspaper? Additionally, we will go over the facts of the case, the court issue and decision, the court rationale, and present several questions as to how this case's ruling relates to issues surrounding freedom of speech for students. The purpose of this presentation is to provide a deeper understanding of how the application and interpretation of First Amendment rights varies depending on different settings, particularly between school students and adults in the public. By the end of this presentation, the audience should gain a more enhanced understanding of a student's freedom of speech rights in an academic setting. Aiden will now introduce you to the facts and events surrounding the case.
Students enrolled in a journalism class at Hazelwood East High School wrote two controversial articles for the school paper. The first was an article about divorce, in which a girl talked about how she blamed her father for her parents splitting up. The second was an article about teenage pregnancy, in which pregnant students at Hazelwood shared their stories anonymously. The school principal deemed these two articles inappropriate for a school environment and prohibited them from being published. The students brought the matter to court in the Eastern District of Missouri, claiming a violation of their First Amendment rights. The district court ruled in favor of Hazelwood, finding that there had been no First Amendment violation. The students appealed to the Eighth Circuit Court, which found that there had been a First Amendment violation and reversed the decision. The school then appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, where the Circuit Court's decision was reversed, ruling in favor of Hazelwood.
Which brings us back to our research question. Can a school administration restrict topics discussed in a student-run school newspaper? According to this case, the answer is yes. In a 5-3 decision, the court held that the First Amendment does not require schools to promote certain types of student speech. The court further held that schools must have the ability to set high standards for student speech that took place under their sponsorship, and that schools maintain the right to refuse to sponsor speech that is, quote, inconsistent with the shared values of civilized social order, unquote. Essentially, in regards to a school newspaper, as long as the school agrees to sponsor publications that are tied to their image, the school board maintains the right to restrict certain topics. The court also held that, quote, educators do not offend the First Amendment by exercising editorial control over the content of student speech so long as their actions are reasonably related to legitimate pedagogical concerns. The court, unquote. The court ruled that the actions of the Hazelwood principal met this standard.
Interestingly enough, there was a similar case, Tinker versus Des Moines Independent School District, 1969, in which 5 students wore black armbands to school to protest the Vietnam War. The school district, hearing of the plans, preemptively implemented a policy which banned black armbands from school. On the fateful day, 2 of the 5 students were suspended from school, and 1 additional student was suspended the day after. The court also reached the Supreme Court. The court decided it can hardly be argued that either students or teachers shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate, and that the school's actions must be able to show something more than a mere desire to avoid the discomfort and unpleasantness that always accompany an unpopular viewpoint. The courts ruled that the school district was not able to punish students for its acts of solidarity on a political issue. Hazelwood, however, is different, since by publishing a school newspaper, the school is attaching its name and image to the newspaper. Thus, topics that are outside of the scope of the basic educational mission of the school should be legally excluded from the publication. It is this difference between an individual's actions and the school's image that is the defining piece of Hazelwood. If the actions or publication will have a negative impact on the school's image, and it is being promoted as part of the school, then the administration will have full control of that publication. However, the school may not take action on items that are not sponsored by the school.
This case led us to question some of the issues that students run into when trying to practice freedom of speech in an academic setting, such as, what is the difference in rights of college students versus high school students? What actions might be restricted or allowed by law? We would like to take this time to ask the class a few questions related to the Hazelwood case. What do you believe should be restricted in a school's newspaper? Do you think that the 2 articles that were written for the school's newspaper should have been deemed inappropriate? Do you agree that a school's administration should have editorial control over students' content without their consent?